Welcome to Principle 10, Challenge by Design. We start with one fundamental truth about life. Challenges are non-negotiable. Challenges, difficulties, setbacks, pain, they are just a part of life. They're non-negotiable. One of the biggest mistakes anyone can ever make is to feed the fantasy that one day life will just be easy. Because the more you indulge in that fantasy of just having an easy life, the more despondent and dejected you become when challenges and difficulties come along. So I'd like to start this principle by just reaffirming that idea that challenges are non-negotiable. And using the law of polarity, when we embrace that challenges are a part of life, we can see that there must be another side to them. So for all of the negatives within the challenge, there will be an equal and opposite number of positives. For all of the difficulties, there will be eases. For all of the setbacks, there will be possibilities and opportunities to move forward. So when we first of all embrace that challenges are non-negotiable, that grounds us in reality. Then when we come up against a challenge, we can find how is it serving us? What's the benefit to us? What is it teaching us? What are we learning? So we can actually see this challenge is something that's worth overcoming. So then it becomes more meaningful. And that starts to change the landscape really, really quickly. So now we know that challenges are non-negotiable, and we can see that we can turn any challenge into something that's meaningful. Then we can start to approach the idea of challenge by design. And the idea here is that you can tap into your values that we covered right at the beginning, and you can actually choose the challenges you want to face. So rather than your life just being a random series of challenges, one after another, that you don't want, if you connect and align with your values, you can then pick something that you'd love to engage with. You can pick a challenge that you'd love to overcome. You can consciously decide which challenges you want to face. And when you choose something that's meaningful, then you'll automatically be more engaged and inspired to tackle it. And the wonderful thing here is that when you give your time and energy to a challenge that you choose, all of the other challenges that seem to pop up at random and get in your way just start to fade away. And the reason for that is when you choose a challenge, there's only so much challenge in your life. So when you choose the one you want, the others start to fade away. Now, I'm not by any means saying that life won't throw you the odd curveball, because it will. But by engaging something that's meaningful, all of the other stuff becomes trivial. It becomes less important. It becomes something to just deal with rather than becoming these big, huge problems that you can't overcome. So we've got our challenge and we've applied the law of polarity. So we've looked to see what the other side is, the hidden benefits. Then we've aligned it with values. So we've looked at actually what is something that I want to engage with? What is something that I want to choose? We clear emotional memory images. So anything that you've been through that's similar to that challenge in the past, that was either scary or stressful or worrying, you clear the emotional memory images, so then there isn't anything disrupting you or holding you back. Then you think about, okay, who am I? What identity do I want to access? And when you start to access, I am a problem solver, I am someone who engages with challenges, I am someone who tackles things by looking at them face on. When you access that identity, the behaviors that come along with that are being problem solving, being patient, being diligent, figuring out solutions. And then all of a sudden, you start to feel the way of that identity. So you start to feel more engaged and more empowered to actually tackle this. Then we think about the language that you use. So you don't generalize. I always struggle with challenges. It never gets any easier. You don't distort the truth. You use language that reaffirms your ability, reaffirms who you are, reaffirms the pictures that you want to create that will help you move forwards. You become conscious of your mental movies. You start to create images of what it will be like when you overcome this challenge. You create mental movies of you solving problems, of overcoming obstacles. You create pictures of the journey that you'll go through so you can identify and solve problems in advance. And all of a sudden, you've got a completely different outlook on these problems and these challenges because your mental movies are actually telling you something different. So we get this complete change in landscape. Then we start to look at, okay, what am I grateful for? What is this challenge teaching me? How is it helping me? So we start to apply all of these different principles to find out that actually this challenge is something that's meaningful, it's something that gives you purpose, it's something to actually engage in. And because you're choosing it, it's important to you. So we use all of these other principles to actually turn any challenge that you're facing into something that is just worth your time. And that boosts your mood, it boosts your energy, and it boosts your enthusiasm for your life and the world that you live in. So when we think about challenge by design, it's about picking something that aligns with your values and then using the principles to actually help you achieve what you want.